Hey guys, how is everybody doing? With all of my end of the year rankings all done, I've talked about the most surprising, most disappointing, I've talked about the best, the worst. With the year of 2024 now officially behind us, and now I've gotten all that done, it is time to look into the future and look into the brand new year, which is already a month in, which is scary to think about. And today I'm going to be giving you my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. Yes, I'm very late filming this. It is the last day of January. Tomorrow's the beginning of February, which is terrifying to think about already. So yeah, I am pretty late to this video, but hey, better late than never, right? And I'm tired of saying I'm late all the time. But it's just like I'm getting it done anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, this is a video that I like to make. This is a video that I've always had fun making, where I get to look at the long list of movies coming out of the brand new year, and I get to choose my 10 that I'm the most excited for. So yeah, this is a video that I've always looked forward to every new year. I looked forward to it last year. We got a few big surprises last year as well, so maybe we'll get some of those here. But yeah, let's talk about my most anticipated movies of 2025. But before I get to my top 10, I do have a few honorable mentions that almost made the list, but they didn't quite crack top 10 for me. But my first honorable mention is going to be Thunderbolts. Now, this is a movie that when they announced it's been in development hell. It seems like I've never looked forward to it, and at the point when they announced it and all these projects they were announcing, I had lost hope in Marvel, so I was never excited for this movie, but the trailer that we got for this movie actually looks pretty good. And the writer that is making this movie, who wrote this movie, wrote like the Netflix series Beef or something like that. I believe that was the title of it. I watched that when they announced it because a lot of people say that he was a great choice. And so I watched that show and I really loved it. That was one of the best shows Netflix had put out in a very long time. And to see the same guy who worked on that going to be working on a Marvel movie, I have a lot of fun with it, and I do like this Suicide Squad like team that we're getting. This is Marvel's Suicide Squad essentially. So yeah, knowing what I know and have now officially seen the trailer and the team that we are going to be getting, I'm pretty excited for it. It looks like it's just going to be fun. I'm hoping it's going to be rated R because the grainy look that we got in the trailer, I'm like, oh, I'm hoping it's violent. So yeah, hoping for that R rating. Hopefully this will be the next R-rated Marvel movie. But yeah, Thunderbolts is an honorable mention. And sticking on the path of Marvel, my next honorable mention is Captain America: Brave New World. Now, admittedly, I have not seen the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who the same team that made that is making this, so I can't officially say anything. Haven't heard the best things, but Disney Plus original series aren't the greatest anymore. Besides Loki, Loki's great. But I'm just excited for another Captain America movie. I'm really excited to see what Sam Wilson's going to be able to do with his own movie. Hopefully, this will set up a trilogy if it's good enough. And seeing Red Hulk as the villain, that just looks like a lot of fun. The action sequences that we're getting in the trailer, I'm like, that looks like it's going to be awesome. But the one thing I am nervous about this movie is the reshoots. The reshoots kind of like, oh god, we gotta. Last Marvel movie to do that was the Marvels, and that was one of the worst movie. That was one of the worst Marvel movies we had gotten ever. And I'm also just hoping it's not a hidden Hulk sequel. I'm really hoping Green Hulk doesn't, or regular Hulk doesn't just show up in this movie, because knowing that we have Red Hulk as the villain and Sentry as like the big-minded villain pretty much and as the main villain seemingly, I'm hoping it's just not a hidden Hulk sequel because I love Incredible Hulk and I do feel that should have gotten a sequel, and I'm hoping this is not it because I want this to be a Sam Wilson focused Captain America movie. But we shall see when this movie comes out. It comes out in about a week or so now, for about 2 weeks now. It comes out on Valentine's Day. So yeah, we shall see what this movie has to offer, but keep my expectations a little low. I'm still excited, but I'm keeping my expectations low. That is why it is an honorable mention. Now, the next one I just kind of included just because I'm excited to step back into this world, and that is Ballerina, a John Wick story. Now, I love the John Wick world. John Wick Chapter 4 was my favorite John Wick movie we have gotten, and this is just a little spin off of like the whole Ballerina thing that we saw in Chapter 3, and I'm really excited to see what they'll do with that. The trailer looks interesting, the action looks great. We're going to see Keanu Reeves come back as a John Wick in this movie because this seemingly takes place between chapters 3 and 4. So yeah, I'm just excited to step back into this world of John Wick, and hopefully this movie will be good enough to where Lionsgate will see that we want more spin-offs of John Wick, because I'm hoping this kind of kicks off a John Wick spin-off, because some of the characters that we have gotten in this series merit their own movie, and I'm hoping if this movie does good, they'll end up making more of that. I'm hopefully we're getting like a Mr. Nobody movie because he was awesome in Chapter 4. So yeah, I'm hoping this kind of starts like a kickoff to John Wick spinoff. So yeah, trailer looks like a lot of fun, and I'm just more excited to step into the world of John Wick one more time. Well, this aged like milk, but it's in my honorable mentions. The movie is already out, but I'll just say it just for fuck's sakes. And that is Lee Winnell's Wolfman. Now, again, this movie is already out. I have already seen the movie, and like I said, I am late to this video. So yeah, when I was making this list, one of my honorable mentions was Lee Winnell's Wolfman. The only reason it didn't crack my top 10 is because by when I was making my list, it was 2 weeks away. I'm like, why should I put a movie that's 2 weeks away in my top 10? So yeah, if it wasn't 2 weeks away, it would have been in my top 10. But I'll express my feelings about that movie whenever I get to my January ranking. But overall, yeah, I was really excited for Lee Winnell's Wolfman. I loved what he did with the Invisible Man remake, and I was hoping he could do as good, if not better, than he did with that remake and do it with Wolfman. But again, I'll express my feelings on that some other time. But yeah, this did make my honorable mentions. And my final honorable mention is one I'm still kind of mixed emotions about and kind of mixed feelings and mixed excitement for, and that is Karate Kid Legends. Now, I love Karate Kid. I love that original movie. That is one of my all-time favorite films of all time. I love Karate Kid. I've really been enjoying Cobra Kai. I have not seen the final season. I have not even finished season 4, if I'm being completely honest. I got burnt out on it. But I'm just really confused of what this movie is going to offer us. What is this movie going to be? The trailer looks good. It looks like it's going to be taking itself seriously, but Jackie Chan joining, which is a great casting, is a great choice for this series because, I mean, come on, it's Jackie Chan. But we got him in the Karate Kid remake. So, does that mean that the Karate Kid remake is now a sequel now? Are they going to just pretty much pretend that he was never supposed to be the Mr. Miyagi character in that? Is he now just a new character and he's just being cast in this just for being Karate Kid? Is this what is this movie going to be? Is the ending of Cobra Kai season 6 going to set up this movie? I have no idea what this is going to be, but what I got from that trailer looks like it's going to be taking itself seriously. It looks like it's going to be a passing of the torch once again with this series. It looks like fun and it looks like it could be a damn good Karate Kid movie, but I am just so confused of what this movie is going to be. Is this going to be a sequel? Is the remake now a sequel? Is Cobra Kai gonna set up this movie? I have no idea, and that is why it is an honorable mention. If I had known more, and if there was just more context to the film, it would probably be in my top 10 because of that trailer alone. But however, no, not knowing too much, not knowing what this movie is trying to offer me, I cannot put it in my top 10. Therefore, it is an honorable mention. But with all the honorable mentions out of the way, let's finally kick off this list. That number 10 is going to be Avatar Fire and Ash. Now, at this point, it's kind of hard to not get excited for a James Cameron movie, and the Avatar movies are arguably the biggest movies of all time because I enjoy that first Avatar movie, but I don't love it by any means, and I had no faith in The Way of Water by any means, but when that movie came out and when I watched it, I actually prefer that over the original, and I do think that is a pretty good sequel, and that ended up being one of my favorite movies of 2022. So yeah, I really enjoyed the last installment, and I was not expecting that because it took a fucking decade to finally come out. And this movie, I believe, was meant to come out last year, but because of the Hollywood strike, I believe, got it a bit delayed. I can't really remember at the top of my head, but we are getting it this year, supposedly in December. Maybe we'll see if it gets delayed, but I don't know. But it's kind of hard not to get excited for James Cameron. James Cameron is a great director. He's one of my all-time favorites, and if this movie is as good, if not better than The Way of Water, I'm gonna have expectations for it. So I am excited, and if anything, it's in my top 10, made more out of curiosity and just excited to see James Cameron come out with another movie. But I'm hoping after a while, James Cameron kind of parts himself away from Avatar and goes and works on other things. He's rumored to be working on a Terminator movie. I would like if he ended up making that movie. I would like if he goes and makes original movies before he retires or passes away. Like, I would like to see him make more different movies, but if he's going to dedicate his life to Avatar, dedicate the rest of his life to Avatar, then I want to see this series be good. And if he wants to dedicate himself, then I'm hoping 4 and 5 will be good. And I'm also hoping for Fire and Ash to be good. And what we've been told about these new things coming out about like how there's like these new people, I forget what they're called in the Avatar world. These new people supposedly being red and they're fire or whatever. I don't really know, but it sounds interesting for sure. And but hey, like I said, it's not safe to debate against James Cameron. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out story. Now, if you don't know that this is the third installment in the Knives Out series. We have Knives Out, we have Glass Onion, and now we're going to get Wake Up Dead Man, which is going straight to Netflix like Glass Onion did, which I don't really understand why that is happening. I don't know why it wouldn't be a wide release film, but whatever. I really enjoy those other two Knives Out movies. Those movies are really enjoyable, and they're kind of like the modern Sherlock Holmes films with Craig. No, Daniel Craig's character as like kind of like the mystery solver guy. He's kind of like the modern Sherlock Holmes at this point, and I'm really enjoying what they're doing. They're fun. They're just they're. I do have some mixed opinions about both of them, but they are enjoyable to where I am excited for them to make another one. And all the castings that we got for this movie got Josh Brolin involved with it. You got all these big name stars a part of it, to where it has me really curious to see what this movie will be. Will it be setting up a Knives Out 4? Because I heard that's what it's going to be doing, but I don't know. I'm more just excited to see another Knives Out mystery story because I really like these mysteries that we go on. They end up being really predictable, but they just end up being just fun at the end of it, and it just brings you on a fun ride that you just like to be on. So yeah, I'm excited for Wake Up Dead Man. I'm intrigued to see what the story will be in this one, or maybe they release it. I just can't remember. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for Wake Up Dead Man, and I'm just excited to see another story in this whole universe. Coming in at number 8, this one might be controversial because of how controversial the man is, and that is the Michael biopic. Now, I am a huge fan of Michael Jackson. I love his music. I grew up with his music. I do believe he is the true king of pop. I love Michael Jackson's music. Like growing up, that was like that was one of the biggest artists I listened to, and I still listen to him. Like, sure, there's all those allegations. There's the controversy with Michael Jackson, but I won't get into it. But yeah, it's kind of hard not to get excited for it because seeing that they casted his nephew, who is like a stunning image of Michael Jackson when he was young, it's just like I can't help but get excited for that. And now I don't know what the situation is with this movie because a report came out saying that they have to get rid of the entire third act or something. They have to reshoot like some whole act of the movie because revolving allegations. Now, reportedly, there was a whole the final moments of this movie was supposed to be the whole allegation things with Michael Jackson and supposedly one of the victims. But when they agreed to do this movie, one of the things that they could not do was pretty much that they could not bring up that family's name and they could not bring up that person's name, and so they had to scrap all that, and now they have to start from scratch for the ending. Now, I don't know if that means if this movie's going to get delayed further. I believe it's supposed to come out in April. I will not be surprised if it gets delayed to like maybe like November. I don't know. But this movie, I don't know if it will come out because of that reason, but it's kind of hard not to get, like I said, it's kind of hard not to get excited for a Michael Jackson biopic because one, I love his music, and two, I would love to see more of his story because I don't know his complete story. I know some of it, but I would like to see more of it. And musical biopics have kind of been on a hot run so far with Elvis and the Bob Marley movie we got last year. We got The Complete Unknown just a few weeks last month, excuse me. So yeah, musical biopics have been on a hot streak so far, and hopefully this movie can keep that train running. I'm hoping that that it's just a damn good storytelling Michael Jackson story and his tragedy of his life and all that. I'm just hoping for that because I can't help but be excited for a Michael Jackson biopic. I love his music, and I'm hoping that this movie will do him justice and to an extent. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Zootopia 2. Now, I grew up with that first movie and I have a lot of nostalgia for that movie, and even as I'm older, I love that first Zootopia. I think that is one of Disney's best movies they have made in a while. I really love that story. I love I love that they kind of bring this detective like story for kids but with animals. The animation's a lot of fun. Judy Hopps is a lot of fun to watch. Not for that reason. not that reason. But yeah, I really love that first movie. That is one of my favorite modern Disney movies we've got in the last decade, and I'm finally we're getting a sequel to it when they announced it fucking years ago. And I'm a bit nervous for it because it has taken a long time to come out. But hey, I thought the same thing with Inside Out 2 last year, and that ended up being one of my favorite movies of the year. So yeah, maybe it will be the same thing, but maybe I'll love it more. But yeah, I'm excited to see this detective story they might tell, or maybe they'll do something completely different. But yeah, I love that first Zootopia movie, so I'm really excited for a sequel. I'm hoping they can top it, but it's gonna be hard for me because I love that first movie a lot. But yeah, we shall see what this movie has to give us, and see if all the anticipation and all of the wait is going to be worth it. But yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten the sequel when a lot of us have pretty much begged for it. But yeah, I'm excited for a Zootopia sequel, and hopefully it just doesn't break my heart because Disney will probably do that. Disney will probably do that because Disney only makes things for money. I mean, I work for money, so. Coming in at number five, we're still talking about comic book movies on this list. It's going to be an exciting year for comic book movies, isn't it? But number five is going to be Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, I will, admittedly, I'm not the biggest Fantastic Four fan, mainly because I didn't grow up with the greatest ones. I did grow up with that first movie. I do enjoy that first movie, but it's not one of my all time favorites. I really enjoy the Fantastic Four. I really enjoyed the animated series. I have not seen Fan Four Stick. I basically refuse to watch that movie, but just something about the MCU doing the Fantastic Four, which is probably the biggest like faction in the Marvel universe. It's just exciting to me, and then the casting choices they got, I thought are all 10 out of 10s in my mind. They are all perfect castings. Excuse me. I love the I love the casting choice for the villain. He's a great voice actor. Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, and what was that one girl's name that's playing Sue Storm? I forget her name, but you got Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, and you got the one guy from the Bear who plays Cousin as the Thing, and it's going to be in like a different universe or something like that. It's going to be outside the MCU. Is going to be its own thing. It's going to be outside the MCU. It's going to be a whole new universe, and it's gonna have like a futuristic like past or whatever. Like all of that in my mind just says great Marvel movie, and just like just a fun Marvel movie to where you don't have to watch all of this stuff to catch up on the lore. This looks like to be one of the first Marvel movies in a long time to where you can just go to the movie blind and not know anything, and you can just have a good time. And that's what I'm getting from this movie. And I'm pretty sure that's what they said this movie was meant to be, and I'm glad to see that's what it's meant to be because that's what I want for a Marvel movie, because a lot of us hate doing homework for Marvel movies these days. So yeah, Fantastic Four, I love the casting. I love everything they have announced for this movie, and I loving everything that it's supposedly to be. And possibly this movie will set up Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom for the MCU because, as we all know, Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom, and he's going to be the main villain of Doomsday and possibly Secret Wars. And Doctor Doom is one of the villains for the Fantastic Four, and maybe one of the post-credit scenes will show him, and we'll get set up for that. I don't necessarily think that will happen, but I would gamble. I would gamble money to see that. I would gamble money to that would happen, but you never know. But yeah, Fantastic Four First Steps, I'm pretty intrigued by it. But the one thing about that First Steps thing, apparently, there's like a rumor or some like theories going around is that First Steps is going to have the like Mr. Fantastic's son part of this, and they're going to be training him to become a hero. I don't really want that. I want more of a Fantastic Four focused movie and not having to focus on their kid. I don't want that just yet, but I would like that for a sequel. But yeah, everything they announced besides that, I'm over the roof excited for, and I think this could easily be the best Marvel movie of 2025. Coming in at number four is going to be Sinners. Now, this is a vampire movie directed by the guy that did Black Panther and Creed, and Michael B. Jordan is going to be starring in this role, and he's going to be playing two roles. He's going to be playing twin brothers. And, just the fact that this is a vampire movie, it's just it just has me excited. Vampire movies, I feel, are making their comeback because you had Abigail, Nosferatu last year. You also had Renfield the year before that, and The Last Voyage of Demeter. Like, vampire movies, I feel, are making their huge comeback finally, and we're finally out of that hellhole that was the Twilight fucking years and all that. The whole decade we had to live with that shit. But the one thing I will say, I am excited for Sinners just because it's a vampire movie. The director is not a person that I love. I do not love his movies. I respect his movies. Do I enjoy them? Yeah, they're enjoyable movies, very well made movies. But when I watch his movies, I don't love them. I don't really care for Creed all that much. I do not think that is anywhere near as good as the Rocky movies. I will debate that. And the Black Panther movie, I did love, but when I rewatched it when Wakanda Forever came out, I was just like, it's not as good as I remember. Like, this director, he makes very good movies. Very, very well made movies, but they just end up not being for me, and they more be movies that I respect. I will not be surprised if that happens for me. I'm more hoping for just a badass vampire movie, and this movie's take place in the 1920s, I believe, and Michael B. Jordan just playing two roles just sounds like a lot of fun. And what I got from the new trailer that we got a few days ago or earlier this week is that it kind of looks like it was influenced from Dusk Till Dawn, and that is one of my favorite vampire movies. But yeah, just knowing Michael B. Jordan, the guy that made Creed and Black Panther, making a vampire movie in a period setting, looking like From Dusk Till Dawn in a sense, I couldn't be more excited. I love vampire movies, and hopefully this will keep the train going of the vampire movies being officially back. Coming in at number three is probably the most important movie of 2025, and that is James Gunn's Superman, which is supposedly the kickoff to this new DCU, even though we got Creature Commandos and now Peacemaker Season 1 and the Suicide Squad is canon, excuse me, but this whole universe is already in shambles, but anyways, moving on from that, James Gunn's Superman. Now, I will be honest, this would have never made my top 10. It might have made an honorable mention if that trailer didn't come out, because that trailer sold me immediately. Because I watched it, I'm like, you know what? James Gunn hasn't disappointed me with comic book movies so far. I have no reason to believe he'll disappoint me with Superman. Excuse me. And I will be honest, I'm not the biggest Superman fan either. I grew up more of a Batman fan and Spider-Man fan. I wasn't the biggest Superman fan. But but I just feel like this is the most important movie of 2025 because this is supposed to be the kickoff to the new DCU. And if this movie flops, and if this movie does not do good, I do not believe we'll get the rest of the DCU. I honestly believe that Warner Brothers will. I don't think they'll fire James Gunn, but I don't think they'll have him as creative a DC anymore. I don't. I think they'll scrap this whole DCU um plan that they have going forward, I honestly feel they would scrap it. Like, I'm not surprised if they would. However, this movie did break a record for one of the most viewed comic book trailers. It surpassed Deadpool and Wolverine. That movie went to make $1 billion. Maybe this one will too. However, it's just I feel this one's the most important, and I'm really hoping a lot of people just don't boycott this movie because they're Snyder fans. Like, I seriously hate that fan base. I love Snyder. I think he's a good director. I enjoy most of his movies. Man of Steel is my favorite Superman movie, but I'm not going to boycott this movie. So I fucking hate Snyder fans, and I really hope they don't ruin this movie. But yeah, I'm excited for it. That trailer really sold me. I think this could potentially be one of the best Superman movies and one of the best comic book movies ever. But this seems to be a more of a passion project for James Gunn because this movie's coming out on his father's birthday or something. This was one of his father's favorite comic book stories or something like that. So yeah, this seems to be more of a passion project for him as well. And the fact that he's going to be kicking off his own universe, that just sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this movie, but at the same time, I'm hoping for the best when this movie releases in July. Coming in at number two, I'm gonna kind of cheat here. I don't know if it's necessarily cheat, but they're both the same fucking movie. So, number two is going to be Predator: Badlands and a supposedly animated anthology Predator movie. Now, late last year, it was announced that there was a animated anthology Predator movie coming out to where the same guys that have made Prey and were now making Predator Badlands will be making an anthology animated Predator movie. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it is going to be coming out this year. They say it is. So we'll just see. But the main one I'm going to be talking about is Predator Badlands. Predator Badlands was in competition for being my number one because Prey ended up being one of my favorite movies the year it came out, and it became one of my favorite Predator movies because I freaking love Prey, and the people that worked on that are going to be working on Predator Badlands. And I don't know much about this movie. All I know is that it's a futuristic Predator movie. There's supposedly twin sisters or something like that. All I care, Predator movie. It's going to be something different. It's going to be in a futuristic setting, it sounds like. I'm overexcited for that. And I'm just excited to see we're getting another Predator movie because I'm loving what Disney is doing with the Alien and Predator series. Alien Romulus, favorite movie of last year. Prey ended up being one of the biggest surprises and one of my favorite movies of the year it came out. And if they hit a home run with Predator Badlands as well, I have full faith in Disney with Alien and Predator because I am so excited for Predator Badlands. This has the chance of breaking my heart because maybe it won't be for me for what it might be, but I am excited for Predator Badlands and it comes in at number 2. But coming in at my number 1, my most anticipated movie of 2025, and it should be no surprise, and that is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now, this was meant to be called the Dead Reckoning Part 2, but then for some reason they got rid of that. But Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, when that movie came out, that was one of my favorite movies of 2023, and that is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. And that's a part 1, and I usually don't love it when movies do that, but that felt like a good sanctioned story, and this is supposed to be the follow-up, and this is supposed to be the part 2 of it. If this movie is as good, if not better than Dead Reckoning, I will honestly be happy that this will be the final one. Now, though there is no confirmation if this will truly be the final one. Maybe this movie will make a shit ton of money, and Paramount will be like, hey, maybe one more. Maybe Tom Cruise will be like, all right, let's do one more. I still got it in me. And just if this is the final one, I'm just hoping they hit a home run. And Tom Cruise, he's gonna push his limits with the stunts in this movie as well. Now, I will say the trailer didn't completely sell me, but it just looks like a great action movie. It looks like there's gonna be a lot of callbacks and Easter eggs from the earlier movies, but that first trailer just looked like it was just showing off all the stunts. It's like, oh, look how badass Tom Cruise can be. Like we already know that. I'm hoping when the Super Bowl trailer comes out, it'll actually show us what the story is gonna officially be. But yeah, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is easily my most anticipated movie of 2025. The last one that we got was my favorite of the series so far, and if this one is better than that one, then you have probably the greatest action series of all time. But let me know which movies you're most excited for of 2025 down in the comments below, and we shall discuss them. What do you agree with my list? Is there movies on? Were there movies that should have been on my list that you feel, or is there movies on this list that you're not excited for whatsoever? Let me know in the comments below, and we shall talk about it. Thank you all so much for watching this video as always, and if you like this video, like it. If you love to subscribe to the notifications, so you will get notified for all of my latest videos. And of course, until my next video, I'll see you all next time. And I am a bit late to this, but Happy New Year.